FBI. Now we're in control of the military. We're silencing media. This is what you do in a dictatorship.
Are you suggesting that the president is not the commander-in-chief of the military?
I'm suggesting that the president is going to put in charge somebody who is going to contravene the Constitution. And at some near point, this conversation will look very silly for you because it will be obvious. And right now, you're gaslighting. But when we get to the actual rubber of the road of this, it will be clear.
I'm interested in this conversation. He's going to put someone in charge who will contravene the Constitution. Like, who? What do you mean by that? The president is in charge of the military, is he not? You said he's going to put someone in charge of the military?
The president is in charge of the military. That is how it works.
This is important conversation.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I'm letting you have it. Yeah, I mean, I think it is important because there is this perception that Trump does want to push the boundaries of what is in his constitutional lane. And his staff secretary said that apparently he signed an executive order saying that only he and the attorney general get to say what the law is. So that's the type of thing that I think that Trump has said that has caused people to question, what does he mean by that?
I don't think he has done anything in the first month that is outside the bounds of the power vested in him by the Constitution. He was elected president. We, according to the Constitution, vest all executive authority in a president. And the concept that the military should be an independent agency or that the bureaucracy should resist the political leadership of this government is extraordinarily dangerous.
That's a straw man.
You know, it's getting harder and harder to take CNN seriously sometimes. And I don't know what this game they have with Scott Jennings is. And I already talk about Abby Phillips' panels. I always give the main criticism about Abby Phillips' panels that I always see she stacks it in the favor of the left. Always. If you look at the panel, Republicans are always outnumbered on that table. Conservatives are always outnumbered on that table. Abby Phillips is an active participant in the conversation, as you saw from the intro. And this clueless guy, like you saw his face, was like, he act like Scott Jennings said something so out of bounds when he said that Donald Trump is the commander-in-chief of the military. That when it's Donald Trump in power, they find ways to justify limiting his power. Right? And they want to cry about unelected bureaucrats and all this crap. I think a lot of Americans are sick of it. I think a lot of Americans are seeing through it. But one interesting story that came out recently is CNN's Jake Tapper is selling a book about the cover-up of Biden's mental decline. And as you know, Jake Tapper was the biggest detractor. He was the main one saying that it was misinformation, it was a stutter. He was the main one defending it and making excuses out of it. 5 years later, now he's going to try to make money off of it. This is why trust in the media is at an all-time low. And I had to share this one. I had to, because for 5 years he's been denying, oh no, nothing's wrong with Joe Biden. Americans, if a blind man could see something was going on with Joe Biden. Then we found out what White House aides are coming out and speaking about how a month into Biden's presidency, they realized that he was mentally unfit to run the country. Since day one, since month one, Biden was incapable of mentally running the country. And for 5 years, the media sat here and played defense for it. And this is why these attacks, these little fear-mongering, these little narratives they try to create about Donald Trump, this is why I don't believe it, especially if it's coming from CNN. Let's take a look.
And we've challenged Democrats and White House officials about it. But Alex Thompson of Axios and I have spent the last several months talking to more than 200 insiders and officials and donors and activists, more willing to talk post-election, of course, to explain the last couple of years in politics and how we as a nation got here with never-before-heard stories from behind the scenes. You will not believe what was really going on.
I feel like this book is redundant. We already know what happened before, right? Here, there's a supercut of him literally doing what I said he did. And this is why the internet is undefeated. This is why the politicians and these guys, they can't lie. Imagine the human mind is not capable of remembering things 5 years ago, especially if it's something insignificant like this. But with the internet, did Jake Tapper ever contradict the statement he's making now? Oh, yes, he did.
Feel when they see you make a comment like that?
It's very clearly a cognitive decline.
Okay.
That's what I'm referring to.
First year in office, 2020. Not even first year. I don't know when exactly this 2020 interview came out probably after he won the election, after Joe Biden won the election. Laura Trump was saying this, and this is Jake Tapper.
It makes me uncomfortable.
You have
to watch somebody on stage
I can't.
search for
That's so amazing.
questions
It's so amazing to me
and,
that
and,
that
and try and figure out an answer.
a cognitive decline.
President Biden embraces his stutter, talking about it, while Trump mocks it, exaggerates it, belittles it. He's sharp physically. I mean, mentally.
Yeah.
I think the question is physically, right?
Right.
More so?
Right.
Right. And the guy who's his chief opponent is only 3 or 4 years younger than him.
Exactly.
I mean, you have questioned President Biden's age, mental fitness, ability to lead. Of those supporting Biden, you said, quote, shame on all of you pretending everything is okay. You're leading us and him into a disaster.
And this is my problem with CNN, right? They want to pretend, oh my God, we were caught so blindsided. We should have been more curious. That was the main thing they were saying when this White House, when I covered it on my channel. Why weren't you more curious? Because it was your guy. Because if you found something inconvenient, it'll hurt someone on your team. And this is the kind of partisan politics that I think CNN as a network participate in. And it only further cements the political bias. But I digress. Let's take a look at a segment, some clips that I have set up about people's approach to Doge. Doge is popular. And after you see this clip, we're going to react to a clip of this discussion, this comical discussion continuing as they try to paint somehow Doge as a bad thing. Somehow it works in Elon's favor. It's a bunch of nonsense from the CNN, but hey, what do you expect from this comical news network? Let's take a look.
Mr. Roman, are you aware that we are sending $40 million a week to the Taliban?
Yes, sir.
Can you name other instances of foreign aid going to terrorist organizations?
We have assisted al-Shabaab in Somalia. There's been instances of the Khamsi network in Sudan, Hamas, Islamic Jihad, Hezbollah, Kata'iba Hezbollah, Hayat Tahrir al-Shams in Syria. Dozens of terror organizations have received indirect assistance from U.S. foreign aid.
What are you hearing from them now?
That they are really happy that people who should not be here are being asked to leave. That they're really happy that Washington's being held responsible and accountable for wasteful Washington spending. That they want to see the government be more efficient, more effective, and more accountable. The only criticism that they have is they don't want the president to take his eye off the ball when it comes to how much their day-to-day life costs them. These are people who, when you say paycheck to paycheck, it means that their house is barely paid for. It means that they have nothing left over at the end of the week or end of the month. And they want to make sure that this administration is as focused now as they were during the election campaign. They believe in everything else, but they're wondering, what will tariffs do to prices? What will a focus on changing the way that Washington works, how will that impact them favorably in their wallets and in their pocketbooks?
So you see that, you heard that. The American people are very supportive of what Doge is doing. They don't want Donald Trump to keep his, hey, the economy, but, he's still working on his economic policy. But I think what Frank Luntz is missing is that many people are seeing that the Democrats are they're getting in his way, right? It's hard to stay focused when all these distractions keep coming up. All these get Trump judges keep getting nominated. They keep trying to stop his agenda. It's hard for him to move through his agenda when it's constantly being obstructed by the Democrats for pure blind political reasons. And I think this is the gut check that Democrats is going to need in 2026, because I think they still don't get it yet. And because Democrats think, oh, American people want us to resist. No. Your far leftist constituents want you to resist. The American people are more in the middle and they say, hey, work with Trump, right? I remember I quoted a poll on this channel. 66% of people say Democrats should wait and see what Donald Trump does.
About cutting money, right? It's not about spending. It's about shrinking government so that it'll be too small to stop Trump with whatever else is in this plan.
Why would the government stop Trump? Isn't he the head of the government? You're saying the government would be too small to stop Trump. If Trump's the president, why would the government, the bureaucracy, be actively trying to stop him?
Because he is shredding the Constitution and creating an authoritarian dictatorship. That's why.
And no matter who was in office, I'm going to hold them.
Let me ask you something. This is how dumb I think these people sometimes come across. How can you create a dictatorship by shrinking an institution that you're in charge of? I'll wait. How can you create a dictatorship by shrinking the power. Like, wouldn't it make sense to, if you want a dictatorship, you'll grow the government, you'll make the government have more control over stuff. Hey, we want to have control of your health care. Oh, free health care. Oh, we want to have control of what cars you drive because of global warming, right? Create justifications to expand your power, expand your control, expand your edict that you can dictate what's going on in people's lives. And then if someone resists your regime or opposition, you just take away their services. All right, we'll take away your health care because you went against the Biden administration. You spoke ill of the Democratic Party. We'll take away your health care. We'll take away your Section 8. We'll take away your welfare. Because guess what? Democrats already play that game with welfare. Oh, they're going to take your welfare away. They fearmonger, get people riled up to vote for them. I'm being honest. They want to lower the voting age to 16 because they know young people are more likely to vote Democrat. I don't know about, Gen Z currently, but at the time, there was this perception that young people were more likely to vote Democrat, so Democrats wanted to lower the voting age. Everything to instill power. And that's a dictatorship to me. Democrats are openly doing playbooks to get to authoritarian, like pure one-party rule, and not a peep out of them. But Donald Trump shrinking the government, something that conservatives have been wanting for a long time, a smaller government, a more leaner government, a government that's in charge of few things, not many things, and is going to lead to a dictatorship. Yeah, okay.
But more importantly, I'm going to make sure the government is working for the American people.
Both of you all made an interesting point, which is that your view is that Trump is shredding the Constitution. I'd like to hear more about that. But that it seems to me that you all both believe that the unelected part of our government, the bureaucracy, has a responsibility to resist the political leadership. Is that your view?
That's not actually
That's
what
not
we
at all
said. We
what I
said they
said.
are
Yeah, it is.
upholding.
Upholding? Like, what the hell does that mean? They can't even specify what exactly Trump is breaking. Trump wants to fire a bunch of people in these federal agencies, which is under his jurisdiction as president. He's not going to Congress. He's not trying to take money or whatever. He's just saying, hey, you allocated money for me. I don't want to spend it. Federal judges file a lawsuit. These people are filing a lawsuit trying to protect their own skin. Make it make sense. And then they talk about Trump's cabinet picks, right? This is another example. I'm going to the sidebar conversation. They talk about Trump's cabinet picks, but he has the right to appoint who he wants as his cabinet picks. And they're mad that Trump is appointing a lot of outsiders that's outside of the DC circle, the DC establishment, the DC network. And they're saying all these people are wholly unqualified. And they said because they're unqualified that Congress should resist the president. Make it make sense. Oh, so, and this is the argument that Scott Jennings said too. Oh, because liberals think the person's unqualified, therefore you should resist the person in power, even if he's duly elected by the American people. And this is the problem with the left. You guys are openly authoritarian and you pretend you're not. And this is some of the, I think this is what frustrates a lot of people. Liberals think they're the good guys and they never question, are we the bad guys in this situation? They never ask themselves that question. A lack of self-reflective. And you see it in their party. They double down, triple down on all the woke nonsense that everyone don't give a damn about.
The principles of the Constitution, and at times
How
we
is
have
Trump
seen,
shredding the Constitution?
my God, he's like, should
I
we
mean,
go to-
seriously,
He
do we
doesn't
have to
believe in
give
the
you a
balance of
civics
power,
lesson
Scott.
that we have?
I don't know,
We put all power in the executive
How is
branch.
holding the
The
government-
legislative branch, the FBI. Now we're in control of the military. We're
Yes.
silencing media.
Commander-in-Chief,
This
head
is
of the
what you
military.
do
It's a
in a
great part of
dictatorship.
Are
This
you
is not.
suggesting that the president is not the commander-in-chief of the military?
I am suggesting that the president is going to put in charge somebody who is going to contravene the Constitution. And at some near point, this conversation will look very silly for you because it will be obvious. And right now,
It's obvious that you don't know what you're talking about. It's so funny to me that these people, it reminds me of so much of these black liberal guys that I grew up with in college, that they think they know everything, and then you ask them to clarify their position, and then you find out it's all based on their imagination. And that's how this guy is coming across to me. But I digress. Let's finish up this video.
you're
Wait,
gaslighting.
he's gonna
but when we
put-
get to the actual
he's
rubber
gonna
on the
put-
road of
I'm
this,
sorry.
it will be clear.
I'm interested in this conversation. He's going to put someone in charge who will contravene the Constitution. Like who? What do you mean by that? The president is in charge of the military, is he not? You said he's going to put someone in charge of the military?
The president is in charge.
Look at his face. He's so confused. He like this guy, and I'm gonna leave it here. This guy is like the representation of when I talk about a black Democrat, a black liberal sitting here preaching to you, telling you how you should vote, right? That's how they look. That's how they look. You ask him clarifying questions, he can't answer a question. You contradict him, he's mad. He talking about this conversation gonna look silly in a couple years, and then you find out you're on the right end of it, and they were on the wrong end of it, and then you can't find them when the situation happened.
The military. That is how it works.
He was elected president. We, according to the Constitution, vest all executive authority in a president. And the concept that the military should be an independent agency or that the bureaucracy should resist the political leadership of this government is extraordinarily dangerous.
That's not what we said. That's literally not what we said.
And this is the game liberals play too. I noticed that's another tactic they like to do when you trying to have discussions with them, is that they make these vague kind of assumptions like, oh, we have to do this for this reason and X reason, and then when you try to get a straightforward point, okay, hey, let's do a standard. Are you saying that unelected bureaucrats can get in the way of an elected bureaucrats because of said reasons? They'll go, oh, that's not what we're trying to say, right? Jill Biden, no one even voted about, like, all you are is the wife of the president. She's in a cabinet meeting. Left's like, okay, no one has a problem with that. Elon Musk, who ran with Donald Trump in the campaign, talked with Donald Trump, actively advocated for Donald Trump. Everyone knows who's going to be part of his administration. The same way that if Kamala Harris had won, everyone knew that Mark Cuban in some way would play a part in her administration. Now they're crying about unelected officials. Make it make sense. You see the game. It's all politics. But this is the game of pretend, oh, I didn't say it. I don't mean that. Like this pretend ignorance that the left have. They pretend, oh, I don't see what the bad things my party is doing. And I think the American people finally got tired of it and said, F it, we'll vote Trump. But, I digress. I think I'll leave it off there. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. What do you guys think about the whole conversation? Do you find it comical like I did? Do you find it concerning that CNN will allow someone on the news channel, on this debate stage about politics, who don't even have a fundamental grasp about what's inbounds or what's out of bounds for the president of the United States? I'd like to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Appreciate you guys watching to the end of the video. And share the video if you feel so inclined. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.